high school. You said Georgia?
No, Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Yeah. So are we rolling?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, did high school there in Virginia. Mother and dad and 9 kids.
Okay.
I guess you would say we came up on the rough side. Had a little 2-room house. I didn't say 2-bedroom, just two rooms.
Okay.
9 kids. That was interesting.
Wow.
Father made $40 a week at the sawmill, and mom had the kids and took care of the house and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And there I was on through elementary, on through high school.
Yeah.
No plan.
Wow. Okay.
Not really knowing what to do
Sure.
in life. No plan, and certainly no money for college.
Yeah.
But had some teachers there in high school.
Okay.
School was segregated, so all of my teachers were black teachers.
Okay.
Had a science teacher, had a history teacher, had one of our older teachers taught math that I kind of liked what I saw in them. So it's kind of in the back of my mind, I thought perhaps I wanted to teach.
Okay.
But there at the end of high school, no money for college.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do? So anyway, after high school, at the age of 19, was having a good time playing baseball in the summer and going to the juke joints on the weekend, and just having a good time.
Yeah.
Mother sat me down, and mother says, time to do something for life.
Okay. Yeah.
She said, you say you have passed your test for the military? She said, I want you to go ahead and go to the military.
Okay.
Her words were, I want you to go to the military, I want you to further your education, and I want you to see some of the world.
Right.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Wow.
And I took that and went ahead up to Richmond, Virginia, and got to the recruitment station, and 2 days later, I was in San Antonio, Texas.
2 days later.
Yes, sir.
Now, what year was that?
That was in 1961.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was in 1961, and it was up and away out of Richmond, out of D.C. To get to San Antonio, and I guess I would say it's just been up and away ever since.
Okay. Good.
Because the military was certainly my way out, my way up.
Yep.
In getting into the military, I was assigned here to Columbus.
Okay.
And I found out that Ohio University had classes at night on base.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I got over to the education office and I signed up for classes, and I took a psychology class this semester, and a history class the next semester, and a math class another semester, and the credit hours kept adding up. And my intention then was to use those credit hours to get promoted a little quicker.
Sure.
There was us in the Air Force, your education, university education, along with the education that you have to get to maintain your skill level in the military, that was a part of getting promoted to move up.
Okay, so the more classes you took, the higher you accelerated.
The faster you accelerate, yes,
Okay.
sir, yes, sir. So yes, those bases, those classes there on the base, they were in the old wooden type of facilities, and there'd be 60 people in class.
Oh, wow.
Or how you would send up the instructor, and you would look out over that audience of 60, and there were 3 of us, brothers of color, sitting
wow.
in there.
Wow.
There was myself, there was Brother David Tate from Mississippi, there was Brother James Irvin from Aiken, South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And the 3 of us sort of helped each other, just work with each other.
Sure.
And I guess going to those classes, getting those credits, it was sort of a hobby.
Okay.
But after we did that for a little bit, we looked up. There we were approaching 30 hours. That's a year's work.
Right.
Then we were approaching 60 hours. So that's 2 years of work.
Right.
And my thinking was, after about 60 hours, I'd just quit because that would probably assure me of making 6 stripes
Okay.
before my 20 years of Air Force career.
Now, what does 6 stripes mean?
6 stripes means Master Sergeant.
Okay. Right.
You start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I figured I'd at least go to, with my 2 years of college, I'd at least go to Six Stripes.
Right.
But then came Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
So I had to take a break from college to go serve in Vietnam, serve 9 months in Vietnam. But then when I was reassigned back stateside, I was reassigned right back here to Columbus. Good, because I continued my education.
Right.
And my instructors, my supervisors and commanders and all were pretty understanding, because they allowed me to work night shift or work weekend shifts to be able to go to school during the day.
Oh, wow. So 9 months in Vietnam, what year was
That was 1966 and 1967.
Okay, all right. And then you came back to Columbus in 67.
Came back to Columbus in 67.
Okay.
My Angie was 5 months old, so
Wow.
I had a baby girl to come back to.
Okay.
And so I did a few more. I did the remaining years of that second term, and decided I wanted to get out of the military, and I did. And I went to Ohio University full time.
Okay.
Finished up the degree, got the teaching certification,
Okay.
and got placed in a teaching position here in Columbus.
Okay. Now, were you in Columbus City Schools, or what school district were you?
Columbus City Schools,
Okay.
just down the street from here at Linda McKinley High School.
Wow, okay.
There was a little bit on TV one night last week about the racial turmoil that Linda McKinley went through in 1971.
Sure.
I was a part of that.
Okay.
I was new to the district and was a part of things that took place there at Linda McKinley High School. The bit about being in the military and going to school, all of that was on the in-service GI Bill.
Okay. Now explain, what does that mean?
So tuition is paid for by the government.
Okay.
Tuition is paid for by the Air Force.
Right.
And yes, sir, did a little more than 2 years on the in-service, and then after I got out, I went to school, the GI Bill, after getting out of the service,
Okay.
after being discharged from the Air Force. And so in becoming a teacher in the Columbus Public School District, there I was, still good friends with my buddy James Urban and my buddy Dave Tate. And we were just we all transferred to the Ohio State University
Okay.
for master's degree work.
So from
So
Bobcat to Buckeye.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And again, we were sort of in school as a hobby, sort of in school as to get some more credits and just sort of had it as a hobby. So got the master's degree.
Okay.
But then knew that was okay money-wise,
Right.
that I didn't have, because in being a teacher here in the Columbus School District, we went to Ohio State University tuition free. We had a tuition fee waiver.
Okay.
Tuition free. At the same time, I was also collecting on my GI Bill.
Wow.
So there I was, education, and the United States Air Force United States government paying for all of that.
Okay.
A key thing about being here at Linda McKinley High School, a good friend, a fellow teacher, was in the National Guard. He knew that I had the active duty service, so he began to ask me about coming into the National Guard and retiring.
Okay.
From the National Guard. I said to him, I'm through with the military. I have 9 years of it. That's enough.
Right.
He said, here's a good opportunity for you. He advised me. He said, come on into the National Guard with your master's degree. We can get you to officer school.
Oh, wow.
We talked a little bit about the sergeant side of things,
Right.
the airman sergeant side of things, but there's the other side, the officer track.
Okay.
He says, we can get you to school. We can get you into the officers' ranks. I went ahead and followed his instruction, and sure enough, I got to officer school and went up the ladder in the National Guard. I did 18 years of National Guard in addition to my 9 years of regular service. So that gave me 27 years of military.
Okay.
But at the end of the 27 years of military, I had advanced to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel.
Wow. Okay.
So there I was over to the officer side of things, and I went I came from officer school as a captain. I went to the major, and then from the major I went to the lieutenant colonel. So the military was my trip, was my ticket out, was my way up, and right now in retirement, I feel fairly secure with a retirement from state teacher's retirement as a result of having taught here in the Columbus School District for the 28 years. I have the military, the 27 years of military at the pay grade of 05. And I worked some gas station work, some car wash work, and I got some Social Security points, so I have that as a retirement. So all of that provides a decent income there to help make things a little better here in retirement. My mom sent me out of the house. She said, go see the world. And I think at this point I can say I have traveled to all 50 states of the United States. And I've traveled to a lot of overseas areas with my military or just vacationing. So the military was my way up. The military was my ticket out of Urbana, Virginia, and to the broader world of Ohio and the rest of the United States.
So let me ask you, so Vietnam, how many other countries did you travel to during the military?
Oh, I traveled I traveled to Panama. I traveled to Hawaii, but that's another state of the United States. I've been to islands in the Caribbean. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've just my travels have mainly been here at the United States.
So can I ask you? So how was diversity? How was it as an African American black man in the military? Was there diversity there, or not as much? Would you say?
The diversity was a concern. Yes, sir. That diversity was there. A concern I can remember when I got promoted to the 3rd Stripe, a Caucasian master sergeant in charge of, forget what branch of our squadron. But he called me and he sat me down, and he says, I just noticed the promotion list and you're on it for your 3rd Stripe. He said, this list got by me. He said, had I seen that list before it became official, he said, I would have redlined you because I think, the other guy's name was Jerry. He said, I think Jerry, I won't give his last name. He said, I think Jerry should have gotten that stripe. Jerry was Caucasian, and I thought, well, that's not all that good of a thing, but I didn't think a whole lot of it. And just let it ride. With me getting to officer school, I guess maybe there diversity there. I guess being a brother of color there helped me because at that time we had affirmative actions, and the military, especially the National Guard, was saying, let's find qualified black officers to put in some of the National Guard ranks, because back then the National Guard was pretty much an all-white organization. So they were looking for someone who had the military years, who had the university education, had the experience to put into a National Guard position. So that diversity type, that diversity part was positive. Had a little experience just a few weeks ago here at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where I go to the commissary. When you park near your main buildings, there are parking spots for generals and colonels and upper rank sergeants and all that. Wife and me were looking for a spot, and the first 3 spots were COL, colonel, 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 and the 4th spot was CMST/colonel. So that's saying if I were the top, if I were at the top of the ranks of sergeant, chief master sergeant, I can park there. If I'm in the rank of colonel, I can park there. I pulled in and parked, and as we were getting out locking the door, a couple in the 3rd spot were getting out of their car. And the gentleman said something to me and he addressed me as chief. And I responded back, but I didn't say anything.
Okay.
He was trying to be respectful. He was trying to be positive and all that, but he was underrating me.
Ah.
I think what it was,
Uh-huh.
I think the assumption was in that I was black,
Yeah.
that I was a top sergeant and not an officer.
Oh, wow. So,
He probably didn't mean any harm, but
sure. The assumption was there.
the assumption was there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But for the most part, as I was getting out of the military, diversity was becoming a big thing.
Sure.
Not only race-wise, but more and more women were being added to the ranks.
Okay.
And now when I go to the military bases and see those during the workday and see those in uniform, there are just numbers of young ladies who are top sergeants, top officers, and
Yeah.
doing those type of jobs. So yes, the military has been had its concerns with diversity, and it has done quite a bit. But there's still some work to do.
Wow. Okay. So there's always room for improvement and for growth. But
Yes, sir. Yeah.
if you could advise someone that was looking at the military as an opportunity or education as an opportunity for a career, what advice would you have for them?
I would certainly advise them to do that. Now, if you are smart enough to get a scholarship to the Ohio State University, to University of Alabama, or Kent State, or wherever, take that scholarship, go that route.
Right.
If you are fortunate enough when you get there to get into the ROTC program, go that route. But if you're just looking for a way to work up the ladder educationally and just for upward social mobility, the military is not a bad option. Like I said, with the 3 retirements that I get now, my school district retirement and my military retirement, they provide a pretty comfortable living standard. So yes, sir, I definitely advise a lot of young men, a lot of young women, try the military.
Okay.
It might be an assist to you. It might be a way to make you move up the ladder.
Good stuff. We'll definitely appreciate the conversation.
I appreciate chatting with you. I appreciate the invite. Feel
Yeah.
blessed to be in a position to sit and chat with you. I consider me sitting and chatting with you to tell you a little bit about coming up on the rough side. There are a couple of generals, Air Force generals that I have admired over the years. One is General Daniel Chappie James.
Okay.
He was a 3-star general when he retired, but his book that he wrote, From Alkanaz Street in Pensacola, Florida, he was chief of the North American Air Defense Command. His book is From Alkanaz Street to Cheyenne Mountain. That's where the headquarters for that North American Air Defense Command is. And he talks there about his progress up the ladder.
Yeah.
There's another gentleman, he just retired recently, a young general. He's a 4-star general, General Larry. What's General Larry's last name? General Larry Spencer.
Okay.
He talks of being in high school with no money, no plan, going to the United States Air Force. He is just retiring now. He has been Air Force Chief of Staff, and that is a 4-star rank.
Wow.
4 stars is as high as you can go.
Okay.
You don't find a whole lot of those
Yeah.
roaming around the U.S. Air Force.
Oh, wow.
You may find one like he was or 2, but you don't find. But anyway, I like their stories, and
Yeah.
sometimes when I look at my story, I see my story as kind of being like theirs.
Yeah.
Work your way on up the ladder, hang in there, and do a good job, and wear the uniform proudly, and keep your shoes shined, and wear your hat on your head, and.
Yeah.
And someone there is seeing you, someone is noticing you, and they are behind you.
Right.
You don't always know it, but they're helping to push you up. So,
No.
yeah.
That is awesome.
But I consider this a blessing. Consider it a privilege to be able to sit and talk with you about having enlisted in the United States Air Force and where it got me by retirement time.
There you go. That is awesome. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You get it?